Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a pretty radical new way of organizing people and money online, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or as you'll hear it called, a DAO.
I want you to picture something. An organization that basically runs itself. There's no CEO, no layers of management. Instead, all the rules are just written in code for everyone to see, and every big decision gets made by its members through a vote. Sounds like something out of science fiction, right? Well, it's happening right now.
So here's how we're going to break it all down in this explainer. We'll start with the basic building blocks, then we'll walk through the 3 key stages of a DAO's life, and we'll wrap up by looking at the massive economic shift that these things could be creating. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get this, we first have to define what a decentralized autonomous organization actually is, and, what all the moving parts are that make it work. The easiest way to think about it is like a group chat with a shared, totally transparent bank account. The group gets to decide how to spend the money, but, and this is the key, no single person can just go in and access it. Funds can only be spent if the whole group votes to approve it. That's the core idea right there.
Now, this whole system is built on a blockchain. This is the foundation of trust. Think of it like a public digital notebook where every single transaction and every vote is recorded permanently. It can't be changed, it can't be erased. This is what allows thousands of people to trust the system without having to trust a central authority, like a bank or a CEO.
Smart contracts are basically the engine of the DAO. They're the rules of the organization, but they're written in code. So once the community votes on a proposal, let's say to fund a new project, the smart contract just executes the transaction automatically. You don't need a human to push a button, which removes the risk of someone making a mistake or changing their mind.
And tokens? Tokens are the crucial piece that ties this whole thing together. A token acts as your membership card, giving you access. It's also your voting ballot, giving you a voice. And it's your stake in the organization, which means your personal success is directly tied to the success of the DAO. It's all 3 things in one.
So, how does a DAO even get started? I mean, they can't just appear out of thin air. It all begins with a powerful idea and, well, getting people really excited about the mission.
This first phase is called the tokenization stage, and it's all about making noise. The DAO's #1 goal is to capture people's attention and, most importantly, get its tokens into their hands. This is how you spread ownership out from day 1. Uniswap is a perfect example of how powerful this can be. They're a decentralized crypto exchange, and they didn't go buy a Super Bowl ad. Instead, they did an airdrop. They literally gave 400 of their governance tokens for free to every single person who had ever used their platform. By doing that, they instantly rewarded their early users with ownership and overnight turned them into a massive, loyal army of community members. Okay, so you've grabbed everyone's attention. What's next? Well, now you have to see how this evolves from just a token launch into a real, thriving community. This second stage is called platformization, and it's all about turning those passive token holders into active participants. The goal here is to create an environment where members are actually incentivized to contribute their time, their skills, and their ideas to help the project grow. Olympus DAO is a really fascinating case study here. They engineered their entire system to reward commitment. They use a process called staking, where users get financial rewards, more tokens basically, for temporarily locking up their tokens, which keeps them from selling. It's a simple, clever mechanism that aligns the personal incentives of every user with the long-term health and stability of the whole DAO. But look, attention and activation, they're not enough. In the incredibly fast-moving and competitive world of Web3, long-term survival really depends on your ability to constantly change and innovate. This is where a DAO proves it can actually last. It's all about learning from the market, improving its tech, and, this part is so important, working with other organizations in the ecosystem instead of just trying to beat them.
And Polkadot is a fantastic example of this. It's basically designed to be the internet of blockchains. Instead of being a closed-off system, it allows for what's called protocol exchange, which basically just means different DAOs can plug into each other's technology and services. This makes the entire ecosystem stronger and way more adaptable, because no one has to build every single thing from scratch.
So when you put these 3 stages together, you don't just get a new type of organization. What you really get is an entirely new economy, one with a completely different set of rules. And the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. This isn't just about small online clubs. By the end of 2022, a single organization, the Uniswap DAO, controlled a treasury worth over $2.1 billion. That's a larger cash reserve than many publicly traded companies, and it's all governed directly by its global community of token holders. This scale is leading to a fundamental shift from a business-to-business or B2B world to a DAO-to-DAO or D2D economy. In the old model, trust is built through slow, expensive legal contracts. In the D2D model, trust is built on transparent, open-source code that anyone can check. Value isn't just extracted by one company. It's co-created by collaborating communities. So what does this D2D economy look like in practice? It works like a powerful flywheel. It starts with DAOs sharing their technology openly. This attracts passionate community members who become the best marketers you could ever hope for. And finally, those stakeholders govern the network, making decisions that benefit everyone and fuel even more growth. It's a self-reinforcing loop.
Ultimately, what this all really shows is that DAOs are more than just a new technology. They represent a new philosophy for how we can organize, govern, and work together online, shifting power away from those centralized gatekeepers.
This fundamental shift from top-down control to bottom-up collaboration leaves us with a pretty provocative thought for the future. As these communities grow in wealth and influence, you have to ask yourself, will we, the customers and the fans, one day become the collective bosses of the very brands we love the most?